Hi, everybody. Crimson here with DecoArt. I'm so glad you can join us today for this DIY watercolor card making class. I'm really excited to show you about some of the things that I've made, and hopefully you can get inspired and try them out. So, just a few things. DecoArt is here in Kentucky. That's where we're located. We make all of our paint in Stanford, Kentucky. I work and do things in Lexington. So, yeah, if you have any questions about that, throw it in the comments. I also have someone helping me today. Let me flip around and show her if I can figure out how to do it. Here we go. Maddie's going to be helping answer any questions. Can you see him? Say hi, Maddie. So yeah, she'll be able to hand those off to me. So make sure if you have any questions whatsoever, throw them in the comments and we'll get those answered for you. And so I'm going to show you some of the things we're going to be doing today. So I've created all these different kinds of templates for you all to be able to print off and paint them with acrylic, but also give that look of watercolor. So we have like this little tunnel card that you can create. It's hard to do one-handed. So you can have that. You have your basic little gnome card. Then you can write whatever you want in there. Then you can also do like little displays. I thought these were fun. I'm going to show you how to fold that to get that when you're printing these on one sheet, and you're going to be able to make that 3D display, which is really fun. Along with this one, I'll have that one on the DecoArt blog if you want to follow along with that one. And then we have these fun little card ornaments. So the card, actually, the sheet turns into ornaments. So I thought that was a fun idea. And then we have the collage ornaments. I'm going to show you how to do, or cards, sorry. And I'm going to show you how to do those, which is very simple and a great one for the whole family kind of to work on. Little ones can paint a whole sheet, and then you can collage shapes on and make a really cute cards. So I'm going to just kind of, now on the list of the class, all the supplies that I used are on there. All the paints that I used are on there. But your basic things is something to cut with. If you have a paper cutter like this, it's handy, but you can just use scissors. Let's see, and some sort of glue, basically, because some of the elements you need to glue. Your favorite brushes. I like having sort of like a Filbert brush, which has that rounded edge, a liner brush. That's your basic ones, and like a flat one to get wet. And then some sort of palette. You can use a plastic palette, or you can use like freezer paper. I like to use. It's really good for mixing. You have that big surface to mix your paints. And again, with these, hopefully you can see this. I've used the Americana acrylics for this watercolor look. And all those colors, you can use your favorite colors. You can switch it up. I've dropped those in the class description so you'll be able to see which ones I've used specifically. All right. And like I said, if you have any questions whatsoever, put those in the comments and we will get that answered for you. Now, how's that looking? I'm going to flip y'all so you can see what I'm doing. How's that look, Maddie?
Looks great.
All right. Perfect. So, what I'm going to show first are these two cards. And so you can do any shape you want, but I just thought it was a cute little abstracted like tree or plant. And then with this one, it's just like little stockings. And then I just drew on it with Sharpie. So I also have this template on our DecoArt website if you really need it, but you can just draw out your own or try something to get that template shape that you want. Now, how do you start? Let me know if I go off screen or anything, Maddie, because I can't see my camera anymore. Okay, so excited to show you this. I don't know about you all, but I've always loved receiving handmade gifts and things that people make for me. It just makes it feel so special and, you know, thoughtful that they've took the time to make that thing for me. And And again, making the thing I think is great for us to do as well. All right, so what I like to do is get some colors out on my palette. With all of these cards, it doesn't take much paint at all, so you're able to do like a lot of projects. Because you can paint it directly, like if you don't want the watercolor look, you can make it more opaque and just, you know, paint it full on with the Americana acrylics. They dry matte and they're great opaque paints. There's some translucent colors as well with those more pure pigments. So it's really just your preference. I'm just kind of putting all the colors out here just to have them available when I'm doing this sheet of color that will then be cut up into my little shapes. So if y'all didn't know much about DecoArt, next year will be our 40th anniversary. And so you can be on the lookout for some fun things coming your way. Yeah, we've been going at it for a long time. I've only been with DecoArt for almost 5 years, so I'm just a baby in the company. So, okay. So with this one, I've used a watercolor sheet, and that's because I'm really going to soak the whole sheet. And when you have a watercolor paper, it can really take all that moisture without falling apart. So it has a really great wet strength. Now with our other cards, I suggested printing them out on cardstock. For example, this one. So if you're going to have that heavier body rather than just plain printer paper, because plain printer paper will, you know, it's going to struggle to, you know, what am I trying to say? Handle all that water. It'll fall apart and it'll crinkle. I did find that when I was painting these, they did want to curve up just a little bit once they were dry. But what I did was I just flipped it over and ironed the back and it flattened it out. So if you have that problem, you can do that. Then you can also, when it's dry and you're done, you can just like lay it under something flat and it'll flatten it out for you. And as with any of these, if you don't want to print them out on the cardstock and you'd rather just use the watercolor paper, you can just print out those stencils and trace them onto the paper if you don't feel like confident in just drawing it freehanded. So yeah, it's basically, I just want you all to be inspired and just think about how you can make things for the people that are special to you this year. So what I started out doing was just kind of wetting the paper with water. And then I just take like, you could use your bigger brush, but I like take the smaller one and just kind of start adding colors loosely. So as you can see, I'm not adding direct acrylic to the water. I'm kind of taking it a little bit and like watering it down here, mixing it and then dropping it onto the paper. And you can see it's going to spread and create these really cool textures and looks. And this is the fun part for me. It's just kind of, you're just playing at this point, adding color to the sheet. Can't mess it up. That's the best thing. You're really just experimenting and getting some really cool, like, once that's dry, you're going to be able to place your template on these cool areas like this one. So I really liked this. So I like place my template there and then cut it out. So you can pick and choose all your favorite parts. Have fun little areas like this. So it's sort of like you're highlighting your favorite little accidents that happen on the paper. Yeah, for sure. Um, that's what I love about acrylics. They're so versatile, really. And if especially if you're have a lot of acrylics already and you're like don't want to like just go ahead and commit to buying all of the watercolor colors, you can just try it out with the acrylics.
Do you think there's any advantage to doing the watercolor with acrylics versus regular watercolor found?
I would say, I mean, if you were gonna do like a masterpiece or something with like watercolor techniques, I would probably go with the watercolor paints just because you're gonna have that pigment load be heavier. With acrylics, even if it has a heavier pigment load, if you're adding water, it's obviously watering it down, so you have to layer them up. I don't know. I just think you can get some really good similarities with the acrylics. They're a lot more accessible, I think, especially if you already have the acrylic paints.
Yep.
So, yeah, so I'll just keep doing this and layering it up and layering colors over top of each other. And with the way that I'm placing these, you can use dots. A really cool technique, which I don't have any right now, but you can, once you get color on here, if you want to throw some salt, it'll absorb the paint and make it cluster in some cool, like fun shapes and textures. And then you can, once it's dry, you can brush off the salt and then you have that cool look. Yeah, there's like so many fun experiments you can do. And you can see how, like a young artist would have fun with this, just kind of playing and laying color down and playing with the brush strokes. And then like if I didn't like it being so transparent, I could like let it dry a little bit and then layer it up. Or I can add even more of the acrylic so it's not as watered down. You can see this. Can you see the blue over here?
Mhm.
Yeah, so I can make it more opaque and then kind of drop that darker color in there. So that'll give me a more vibrant look along with the more pastel. You add color and then add the water over top of it. See if that does some different things. Yeah, so you just keep doing that until you get to where like that looks amazing. I'm ready to move on to the next step. Obviously, you want to do, I would, if I were doing a bunch of cards, I would just do all the sheets at once, let them all dry, and then move on to the next stage. And what's great about these is like, if you want to speed it up, you can just grab a hair dryer and kind of, get them dry and ready to cut up. You're not sitting around waiting on them to dry if you don't want to. I think y'all get the idea. You just keep layering it, doing fun things. I really love how the color disperses through the water. It's my favorite thing. It's like little starbursts or little galaxies or something. I'd love to hear in your comments if you all have made your own cards in the past and what your favorite kind of techniques are. Just play around with this, let the drips run. So I'll set that aside. Let that dry. I have some that I've already allowed to dry and kind of started. These are the ones I used for the cards that I showed you. But I was kind of showing you how I picked the shapes. So once it's dry, and see, like, even though that I've already cut it out of here, I can still use so many of these for cool shapes. Like if I wanted to do some other sort of shape, or an abstracted shape, I can just cut these up and use it. So what I did was I cut out these. Here's your basic shapes that I used. You know, circle, stem, the leaves, and the star for this one. So it's pretty basic shapes. You could add more, you could cut smaller ones, you could add leaves, you can make a Christmas tree. Literally anything that you want to do. I thought this was fun just to do some little stockings, add some little holly leaves. This one, just like little ornaments. And this is just like literally a star circles. So it was really fun to pick out the little tiny cute details for each one of those. And you can just cut those out freehand. You find a little area that you like. And then just cut a circle. Or triangle or square or whatever shape you like. And then if you don't want to freehand like the text, what I did was I just went, this one does have a printout, but you could also have a sheet of like different fonts. That's what I did. I just went through and wrote what I wanted and then just had a bunch of different fonts and I printed it out, see which one I liked the best. And so that's what I used here. Michael's has these really cute scalloped cards that I love. So I thought that added just the extra detail. But also if you've already got like the straight ones and you want to add that, you can cut your own scallop. Anyway, let's see, another shape. Let's do the ornaments. Ornaments. You could do it like this, or you could trace it on first and then cut it out. Especially if, like again, if you're doing it with like a younger person, that needs to have it, drawn on first before I cut it out. I don't have a pencil, so I'll just do it this way. Oh, thanks, Maddie. I probably don't need to see that, but I'll show you. You could also trace it on the back if you don't want to mess with that pencil marks, but you can just erase it. It won't hurt the paint or anything. You have your little ornaments. You can have a smaller one. Yeah, when I started making these, I was just thinking of all the different kind of shapes I can make. I was like, oh, I can make some Christmas trees. I can make a star. I can make, literally, you can make anything you want. And then that way, if you know the shape you're going to make, the colors you're adding to your paper, if you want to, make those correlate, that's good too.
Yeah, I like how you layer.
This one. Yeah, I really like. And so then, I was thinking I wanted it to pop out. So, complementary colors that more purple looks. And so I made some more yellows on the top. So that's what I was trying to think. It might not stand out as much if I had done pink or, blue or something. But that was the idea of trying to get all those different colors on the sheet. So I have some choices. Now, if you don't have the cards to make these on, you can just use that cardstock to make your own card. Or you can use watercolor paper, which is what I have right here. And I'll just show you. That's basically, watercolor paper usually has a texture side or a smooth side, so that just depends on which one you like. I like the texture side. You can fold it over. A really fun way to get some, texture and really that homemade look if you're using watercolor paper. If you fold it over, see if I can show you on this side. I'll make a smaller card. Really want to get that crease sharp. You're gonna fold it over the other way. And I don't know if like you're in grade school and you didn't have a way to cut your paper or scissors, you would like, I won't lick this, but when I was little, I used to lick it. You can just wet that edge. And then you can take a straight edge to tear against. You kind of get that cute rough edge of handmade paper, your watercolor paper. You can do that all around the edges. I like that look. This one might be a little big. I'm gonna trim it down so you on here. I like this size. I like this size. So I'm just gonna do that. Make it as big as you want, small as you want. You can also make your own envelopes, which is super easy. Just with printer paper or colored paper, whatever you want to do. With those as well, I have some templates on the blog on DecoArt.com, so you can check that out if you need any pointers on that. And this class will also be available on Monday, I think, on Michael's website. Is that what Nicoria said? I believe so. So, oh yay, question.
What size?
Oh, this one? The set is, I think it's like 5.5 by 4-ish. So it's 5 by 4 basically. Again, you can do a bigger card if you want. But yeah, those standard sizes, they come in different sizes. This is the smaller one, and I think they come in like maybe a 6 by 9, maybe. Yeah, that when you fold a sheet over, it's closer to 6 by 9. So then when you kind of lay out, what I do is like lay out my how I want it to look. Maybe I'll cut some little poly leaves. And again, I'm just doing this freehand, but you can trace on your stencil. Poly leaves are pretty easy to cut out freehanded. They're just like a little pointy. I'd be curious if anyone's making it along with us today, or if you're gonna maybe try your hand out later. Maddie, can you see where some people are joining us from? Yeah, we had a little bit of snow here yesterday, but not enough. I'm excited to see some real stuff.
A little bit. So, usually people love snow in Kentucky, which people don't always expect. But
Yeah. But then, it might be 60 degrees the day before.
yeah, exactly. Oh, Ruth said that it's okay.
Oh, nice.
Makes sense.
Yeah, for sure. All right.
Melanie said that she was going to try and do some letters for Santa.
Oh, perfect.
Great idea.
That is a great idea. Santa will really love that. So again, you can use any kind of glue you want. If you have, decoupage medium or Mod Podge or anything like that, you can use that. Less is more when you're gluing things. It dries faster and it won't warp the paper as much. I'd say just make sure you get those edges, the glue to the edges, that way it's not going to peel up on you. I really like the combination of going back into these and drawing on them like I did with these. Just adds that like graphic quality to it. Looks like, I don't know, like a cartoon.
It looks like this was paint. Stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think she said she doesn't have watercolor.
Oh yeah, for sure. The cardstock works just as well, and I'm going to show you. I'm going to have another printout of the ornament cards, and I'm going to show you. Just painting into that. What I found the printout is that the paint didn't stick to the ink, which was great because I didn't have to worry about not painting over it as much. So that was a good little surprise that I didn't really anticipate. Oh, did I not bring my Sharpie? Draw us a little branch. These are kind of, I don't know. I'd probably, I don't know. Maybe I would add even more to make it even more. It depends on your aesthetic. If you like it less is more. If you like more is more, then you can keep adding. You can layer them, whatever you like. You can use colored ink. You go back in and paint onto these. Literally anything you want. That's the beauty of it. Let's see. Oh, I didn't add any little. I was wrong. And what's great about this is it's so forgiving. Like it looks cool when the lines aren't straight and it's more like, sketchy looking. Sketching and sketchy looking in the drawing. What do I do over here? I just kind of did like a little stocking look. Toe. If I wanted to add someone's initials here, I could do that. That'd be cute. Put Maddie's initials. And you could cut that out with different color paper. That might be cute. Absolutely. Now I'll just draw a little branch in here. It's got to hang on something, right? I think my Sharpie's about to be out. But and then like if it makes you nervous, just draw straight Sharpie on the paper. You can do it with a pencil first and then trace onto it. That way and then you can go back in and erase your pencil marks.
Like,
Love that. I would love if you all can take a picture and drop them in the comments. We can look at them. But, oh yeah. My branches always look a little wonky. It's okay. Get on the tree. messed that one up. It's okay. Sorry, I'm doing this really fast, so I should slow down. Slow down. Yeah, if y'all joined us late, I want to introduce myself again. My name's Crimson Duvall. I'm here with, oh no, it's hanging on my arm. I'm here with DecoArt, and DecoArt is based out of Kentucky. Stanford, Kentucky is where we make the paint, and Lexington is where I kind of work most to create projects and work with paint testing and all those fun things. And I had said this before, but DecoArt is having our 40th anniversary next year. So been making paint for you all, trying to do the best we can so you all can be creative for all these years. And Americana is our flagship brand. If you all have used it before, you know it's like tried and true. We have over 200 colors. It's great to work with, and I think it was really fun to experiment with doing it in this way as a watercolor medium. Anyway, so you can see you can have fun with it. What I would suggest is maybe practice. Just have one that you're just kind of messing around with, thinking you're going to throw it away. Just experiment with how you like the look of things, what you want to do, the shapes of things, and then that might be your favorite one actually when you get done with it. So you can see again, you can do any of these. These are on sort of like an off-white card. This one I made little berries. These, like if you want the colors to even pop out more, I use the white background. Let's go with the other one. Okay. All right. So, and then again, that was done with these little stencils, and that will be on our blog on DecoArt.com. And the two templates that you got on the class description are the ornament sheet. So this one's already painted. I'm going to kind of show you how I did those. Let me grab those. So with these ones, my idea was that all of these could be created with a printout of one sheet. So I was trying to think of, you being able to print those out on the cardstock and working with them, make it as fun and easy as possible so you can really play around with the paint. So like this one and the gnome card are just your basics, printouts like this. You fold it in half and then you're ready. So with this one, I painted it like this. It can, if you want it to tape it down, you can do that as well, but it's not necessary. And as I mentioned before, if once it dries and it's kind of like, sometimes it'll dry sort of like that. You can flip it over and iron the back and it flattens it out. And then you can like lay it under something flat once you painted it and it's ready to give. Just like that. You can write in your message. Then I'll show you this one. So with these, I thought it would be a cute idea to have, you can either give it like this and let them assemble it, or you can go ahead and paint it and glue it together and cut it out and then give it as ornaments. So then you can give it as a little gift like that. You can put it in a box or you can make your envelope. I love, what is this, butcher's twine? They make all different kinds of colors. At Michael's is like my favorite thing. I just love to look at it. I really love it for ornaments, so it's just perfect. So yeah, you can customize how you paint these two ornaments. And I had added like if you want to give it as a sheet, with some paint as like a little gift. You can have some printouts with some paint. That would be a cute gift. Sort of like a DIY present. Um, and then these end up being two-sided once you flip them over. So basically, like you paint it, then you fold it. Like that. That seemed pretty. And I just use glue stick. Again, if you want to use any kind of glue, you want your favorite kind of glue. Thin layer of like decoupage medium or Mod Podge would work as well. Uh, for the purposes of this class, I'll just show you this. So, I'll be honest, glue sticks are fun and they're very nostalgic. So why not use them on a handmade card? It just takes you back to when you were younger and you're making a card for someone you love. Yeah, but yeah, that's true. And it really does help with the paper not warping because there's not as much moisture. So what I like to have is like an extra sheet of paper or something, especially on things I've already painted. I want to have it so I can really just kind of rub it down like this, press it. That way I'm not like scratching the paint or anything. Now you can cut this with scissors. I like to use an X-Acto knife, but scissors work just as well. You can leave these inner areas if you didn't want to get that precise, or if a smaller person is making it and they can't really get in those areas, and that works just as well. So I just cut it out like this. And then I just use a little hole punch here for the string. And then, on this one, I had a little problem with it lining up. So what I did was I just took my Sharpie and kind of just made a shadow. So, you just go with it and make it work. If you felt like you wanted to make this even more protected, you could do a thin layer of like varnish on there. A really great varnish is a DuraClear that we have. We have glossy matte. That works great, and then that would protect it and make it last forever. I mean, I still have paper ornaments on my tree from when my kids were small, and they last. Paper ornaments last. Depends on which one. Okay, and so then the other one, I like these little pop-up 3D. These also come in a sheet, and I was thinking of a way to print these out. I think we're gonna have like a little fun display. And even like, something that little ones could play with if they colored it, and then they're able to, like paper dolls. In this case, paper bugs, my favorite, mushrooms. So they have a little scene. They could draw their own. They could make additions. But that's, and then there also a little cozy holiday scene. I already painted this one out, and I was going to show you how to assemble it, which is super easy. The template has where you fold, and then the other parts where you cut. So you can just cut these out. It's so fun. Paper dolls are always my favorite when I was little. I always made my own, and I loved them. My favorite. So it's sort of like that nostalgia again. You're just having fun creating, being mindful, spending time with people you love, giving gifts that are meaningful. Oh yeah. So we're going to leave that little tab because when we fold it, that's where you're going to glue it, as you can see on here. And then you go ahead and it's just and fold it over. Always do back and forth, that way it's just a crisper fold. These are just really fun. Like you could, you know, modify the colors on here to make it look like your own house. Have your family, pets, all the things you'd want to add that are special. That's basically it. And then you have your little room like this. Again, you just add a little bit of glue here. Like that. And then you just take your little additions. Like you can, like I said, you can do whatever you want. I made a chair and a tree and a present. You just kind of fold them up, set them around. Like that. A cute little thing like that. I want to show you painting on these with the that are printed out on the cardstock. So like the little tunnel card is printed on 2 sheets. You would fold those in half and then again, and then it'd be ready to use for the tunnel card. You just assemble it like that. And this one might be my favorite. This little hedgehog. And so you could, happy winter, spread joy, share love, stay cozy. If you wanted to, so then I glued, you can see I folded them half and again and they're glued. And then they just fold like that. And I think this is really cute with a little handmade envelope. I can slide in. You can tie this with a little bit of string. Get it like that. Press them in. You can paint your envelope, make it even more personal. I literally just did this printer paper. So I have a template for that as well. Basically, what I did is I like to print the template out on a cardstock and then do all the folding. And then with my printer paper, I'll lay that on there and then I'm able to fold it and get my lines without drawing on the envelope that way. Does that make sense, Maddie?
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, we had another question.
Okay.
We just asked if we can buy them.
Envelopes?
The templates.
Oh.
The templates are actually just available on our blog, right?
Yeah. Like I said, there's a couple of templates on the Michael's class when you're on this class. And then I have all of the ones that I've used and done so far on our blog as well. So like this one is more of, I showed it earlier, it was more of a larger like setup. Like it's like this. And it's folded and then you can cut that out and it'd be a display with little rabbit and a mushroom to stand along. And this is my very favorite one. But again, I just printed this out on cardstock and I'll show you how this paints because how much time do we have, Maddie?
I was gonna say, just to give you what's up, we have about 15 minutes left. It's 2:45 for us.
Okay.
If you all have any Jenna?
Yeah, we have about, hopefully you all can hear her, but let us know if you didn't hear all of that. So I just wanted to show you again with the watercolor, the acrylic as a watercolor, you're literally just taking your palette, add in a little bit of acrylic, and then you touch your brush into water, and then you drag some of that out. And then you're able to pick up that color and layer it on the places you want it to be more vibrant, and leave it. And see, the cardstock works just as well as the watercolor paper. I mean, you don't want to load it with a bunch of water like I did with the other one. It's okay. It doesn't have as much wet strength, like I said, but you can see the one that I did at the beginning of the class is almost dry, and I could force dry that with a hairdryer if I wanted to speed that up, be able to cut them out and glue them. But this to me was so like fun to do, and just really sort of mindful, and just taking a moment to reflect and just have fun with the creation of this thing that you can keep, or make for yourself or give to someone else. But you can see how start to get that look and layer and mix the colors. You can add a little bit of water like we did with the sheet before you add the color if you'd rather do that. And then you can get those fun areas of like where the color disperses.
Melanie says that she's excited to use Americana as a watercolor.
I love that.
Me too.
I'm so excited. I want to see what everyone has made. Because it's just so fun to do. Let's see, what else? What else? Do y'all want to see anything else before I take any final questions? I'm going to show you this over here again. Here's this one that's spread out. But these are really fun to make. You just slice the bottom and you slide them into each other like this. Can you tell what that is? And then it helps it stand up. And then you can also sort of like, once you have your pieces painted and they're dry, you can kind of bend the paper a little bit just to give it more movement.
So great.
I think that's so fun. Thank you, Maddie. There's our frog. Loving.
Melanie has a good question.
Okay.
Can we use no text and Americana
Oh.
watercolor?
Oh, yes, you can. You can.
I didn't even know that. That's awesome.
Yeah, so I would obviously if you add too much, it's going to mess with the viscosity, but yeah, you can totally tint it, or you can also let the snow text dry and then paint over it if you want a more opaque color. So either way, if you just want, a smaller tint, or a lighter tint to it, you can just add just a little bit of the paint to the snow text before. But then if you want, like I said, a more opaque look, you can paint it after.
You can also do something similar with the frosting that we.
Oh yeah.
Frosting that I tinted before with Americana, so versatile.
Yeah, and we also have a glitter text, which always has the glitter already in it, and it has the body of the snow text. So I definitely say play around with those. Yes, all of our products are interchangeable and mixable. They work well together. We've made them to be that way. So I'd say have fun and experiment. Yeah. Does anybody else have any other questions? I thank you so much for joining us today. And I really am excited about sharing this with you. And I really hope you all are inspired a little bit to create your own creations for the holidays. And I hope you have a great season, and thank you for joining us. You want to say bye, Maddie?
Sure.
Bye. Stay warm. Bye.